Hi, let's talk about a really common scenario that I see come through my office, where we have someone who has come to the United States on a visa, and for whatever reason, they overstayed and they've been here for many years and have established a life here. And they come in and want to know, how can I correct my immigration status? How can I have lawful status in the United States? I want to be here legally. And another question that they have is, within that, am I going to have to go back to my home country? It's very difficult for me to travel because I have a family here. So let's walk through that scenario. If you have three things, one of three things, then you might be able to correct your status and obtain your green card without having to leave the United States. If you entered lawfully on a visa and you have a US family member, a US citizen family member who is your parent, your spouse, or your 21-year-old child, then you may be eligible to apply for your green card. That person would petition for you. And then the next step, of course, would be that you would also petition for your green card based on your relationship to this US citizen family member. Now, the most common scenario I see is that someone has a 21-year-old US citizen child, or they're married to a US citizen. So we'll kind of walk through that. It's really important that your US citizen child is 21 when you try to petition, and that your marriage is legal. So I have a lot of clients who they've been living together for decades, but for whatever reason, culturally or otherwise, they've not officially gotten married. So it's always a funny conversation for me to say, well, it's time to get married now. And in fact, some immigration law firms even marry people. Some lawyers are even ordained ministers or whatnot and can marry people. I don't provide that service in my law office, but City Hall can take care of that for you. Now, turning to the other question that clients have, am I going to have to leave the country in order to make this happen? And the answer is no. If you've overstayed a visa and you have the correct qualifying family member, then you're not going to need to leave the country. And that's always a huge relief for people. And it's really an awesome benefit to having entered the country lawfully to begin with. Now, one thing to keep in mind with all of that said, there are some challenges that you may face, and it's really important that you work with an experienced immigration lawyer when you're going through this process, because you know what you're going to do as soon as you apply for your green card, you're going to alert authorities that you're here and that you don't currently have status. And later you're going to be going in for an interview with USCIS. You're going to walk in, and the last thing you want is to be denied your green card and then put into removal proceedings. So I hope this has been helpful. If you are someone who's overstayed a visa and has a family member who is a US citizen, it's your 21-year-old child, your spouse, or your parent, go ahead, make that jump, go get the future that you want, correct that immigration status, and let's get you your green card.